Hey everybody, my name is NanoMafo, and today we're going to be doing something very different, something I've actually never done before. We're going to be trying to take a real life shot of my classroom and try and recreate that in Blender. This is kind of way beyond my skill level in a sense because I wanted to do a scene for like Blender Guru did his one from Gone Girl. I wanted to try and do one myself just to get the experience of it and, try and actually make something with models instead of just using posing. But, yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. You got the room, windows, things like, modeling, chairs, tables, stuff I've actually never really tried to do before, really. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one and seeing how it turns out, but I do have a better skill set than I did when I started this in summer of 2017, I think, summer of 2017. So hopefully this will turn out good. I can't make any promises though. That being said, enough waiting. Let's jump into this. Alright, so the first thing, of course, you have to do is take a picture of a room. I just took a picture of a classroom that I was in at my school. I made sure, of course, that no one was in there. They all went to lunch, so at the end of that, I just made sure I took a picture there of the room. And I got a friend's height reference of 1.6 meters. Keep that in mind as I'm doing this. So the first thing you gotta do in Blender is set up the camera. Just a quick note, I did use Blender Guru's Making the Launch from Gone Girl video as a sort of inspiration for this. Like, he's the reason why I'm trying to do my own spin on this, but I did use that for reference as well on how he did this whole architecture technique. But what he did basically was used an add-on called Blam, which now has developed into its own thing called F-Spy. Apparently, I haven't checked it out yet. I'll probably check it out a bit more when Blender 2.8 is officially released. And for those wondering, I'm using Blender 2.79, but I used a friend's high reference of 1.6 meters, sorry. And then what he did was use the high reference of Ben Affleck in his video to get the position and rotation of the camera, because Blam is good at figuring out the focal length, not so much at the rotation in the position. So what he did was model his model to about 1.8 centimeters. I think that's the height of Ben Affleck in that film, and then roughly the shape of her body to figure out the position and the rotation. That is what I did as well. I modeled a cube to about 1.6 centimeters. Also make sure you change the Blender measurement system to Imperial. I think it's Imperial. I'm not too sure, but change the Blender system to where you're measuring in meters, basically, because you're measuring, I believe, in degrees before that. But or radians, I'm not too sure. Anyways, I made my cube 1.6 meters, roughly the shape of the body, and then put a plane down, and then just started scaling. Moving the camera around to kind of match rotation position. Then I began scaling a plane and then scaling the room around it. I don't think I did very well with this because I had to do some weird adjustments to the room for it to fit in the end, but it worked out. And then from there you can start detail modeling, which I sucked at. It did cause me a few problems later on with how many loop cuts I had to do, but what I did basically was first modeling that's in the wall. Those are pretty easy. Extrude out and make cuts where you need to. And then for the window, I basically just got rid of I was trying to use the Boolean method. That didn't work, so I just got rid of the window panes entirely, and then added a bit of thickness to the where the window panes are. and that's good because that's the first time we can actually begin to test out lighting. So I did use HDR lighting in the end for this, but what I did mostly for most of this was just use the Blender's internal blue background light and let it shine through into the room to give me my first little sort of test render, and I think it came out pretty well. Alright, so now we move on to creating basic models. This is something I'm not very good at. So I started off with the tables because they seemed like the easiest thing to create. The tables in the classroom I have, they're just lined up, row on row on row. So the easiest way to do it really was for me to create one table and just go from there. So what I did was I added a mirror modifier, of course, and then just modeled one half of the frame and then used the mirror modifier from there to get the other half of the frame. And then I just used like cube, I think it's either a plane or a cube for the table, and then just use subsurface with some wood cutting to stretch it out a little bit, and then that was that. Sorry. For the chair, I did have to do a little bit more of a difficult process modeling it from a cube. I tried to get the basic shape of the chair, used the mirror modifier, and then I also had to model the chair leg. I'm not sure what you'll call it on a plastic chair, but it's kind of a leggish part, a very abstract round leggish part, which was good. And I had to conjoin these together, and I tried to do two at each table, but it just didn't work. So I ended up just doing one at each table. I know it's not exactly photo accurate, but I wanted it to be there. I didn't really bother too much with the corkboard that much, basically because I didn't want to add so much details because it would look really bad, and I didn't really bother with that. The teacher's desk, I just took it was just a bunch of cubes really, so I just took two larger cubes and then two smaller cubes, put them there, and then for the computer, I just took a model from the model library, and same thing for the folders. And now we can move on to the final step of this whole process, which is materials and render testing. Alright, so moving on to texturing and rendering. So a big thing about this is that you need to make things look as realistic as possible because HDR lighting will only get you so far. So what I did for the table was I found a texture on Polygon.com and I just used that. They have a really good website. You can buy textures, buy models if you need them, but I actually get them for free. I used the free one and just went from there. After that, what I did was for the table legs I used a metal texture, but it didn't come out the way I wanted. It looked like a black metal with a bit more of a sheen to it. I'll probably use the principal texture next time just so I can get that effect a bit easier procedurally. So yeah, that didn't come out exactly the way I wanted it to, but you live and learn. For the corkboard, I ended up just using a cork texture I found online. I even tried bumping up the normals at one point just to see if I could get it to work better, like with non-color data, and then just bumped up the normals. But you live and learn, folks. Next time, I'll probably do procedural. At the point where I was doing it, I was just tired of doing what I do procedurally. At that point, the table and the folders were already pre-textured from the model library, which was good. Pro tip: if you cannot model something, go to Blend Swap and find it, because it'll take you too long to model. But for the window, instead of using the boolean trick I said, I just used the paint, and I used a glass hack that I found on what's its name, Wendigo channel, which again was the same thing I was using for that one. Like in between when I was making the scene, he uploaded a video where he did something called a glass hack, where it reads it as glass, because essentially when you render with glass BSDF, the BSDF is basically the default shader name. Like you have the diffuse BSDF, printable BSDF. I'm not sure what that stands for, but yeah, it's just a standard Blender name. But when you render with glass shader in Blender, you're effectively creating a noise trap. So many fireflies. But what the big thing was here was the glass hack helped because I could reflect the light in there, and I could use the HDR scene that I had there as well. And I didn't even need to input the tree either, because the HDR already had a tree in it, so I could just use that. So I rendered it. This was before I learned the trick. I don't know. This is before I learned the trick where I could how to render using different tile sizes on my GPU. But usually it comes out fine if I just use denoising in 2,500 samples. But yeah, I learned the trick afterwards and I was like, god damn it. So yeah, you live and learn, I guess. Some post-processing that I did as well was to just give the scene a brighter color, and that is it pretty much. And that's it really. I want to thank you guys so much just for the support I've been getting lately. The website has been, according to Weebly statistics, which I know aren't exactly the best, but they've been over 500 page views, at least 400 for the past like month and a half. I'm really grateful for your support. Once it starts getting to June, I should be able just to be pumping out more content on the YouTube side of things, if I'm honest. But if you want to see more content that I'm doing, like in shorter form for like not just my own stuff that I'm doing, but game reviews, anime, most Japanese things, go down to my blog. There'll be a link in the description. Follow my Twitter if you want to see updates on what I'm doing or just my general state of craziness. If you want to see a bit more of my organized portfolios of things plus fan art, go to my website or my DFan art. There's a link in the description too. There'll be a link to plenty of things in the description, but I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.